What up, Homedawgs? My name is Gokey Gamer, and welcome everybody to my battles channel, where I'm going to be uploading Draft League battles, Showdown battles, whatever I decide to do. I decided to make this channel a thing, so welcome if this is your first time here. It probably is your first time here, considering this is the first video I'm ever going to be uploading on this channel. I'm very excited. But yeah, finally taking a step back into Draft League. I have not done an actual Draft League since Generation 8, so it's been several months since I've jumped back into it. I did do this one event with some of the IBA squad where I did like a battle tournament type deal, and then we like quickly drafted Pokemon and then used those Pokemon. And that was fun, but I was very much out of my league in that one because I never used like the Gen 9 Pokemon, so I didn't know how they worked, and I kind of still don't know how they work, but I'm going to be working on trying to improve my skills and trying to improve that. So yeah. This is a PBA, the Paldea Battle Association Showdown Draft League, so I'm very excited to be taking part. There's 3 divisions. It's the Flower Trick Division, Torch Song Division, and Aqua Step Division. I'm a part of the Flower Trick Division, which is really exciting in all honesty, because there's a lot of like really like talented coaches in here, like Trexo's in here. Ellie from Shanghai Hydreigons is here. Jack from the Vancouver Titans is here. There's a lot of like really notable names in this particular division, so I'm very excited to be a part of it. Now, this is unscripted, this is unprompted. I'm probably going to be rushing through this a little bit, so I'll be talking about my draft process, the things I wanted to aim for, and all that fun stuff, because I do have a bit of a theme with this draft league, which I'm very excited about. And when I say theme, I mean only like a third of the team fit it, but that's besides the point. More like I chose 3 Pokemon and built a team around them. But yeah, very excited to be back. I'm going to go ahead and pop the rules here, just because it's easier to show you guys the rules as opposed to me try to explain them. So yeah, here are the rules for the drafting process, here are the rules for the battling process, hopefully right next to each other if I'm able to edit that in. And yeah, without any further ado, I guess we can go ahead and get started. So each division had a different draft pool. So for my division, I was number 7 out of 10. I should also have mentioned, there's 30 people altogether, 10 people in each division. I should have mentioned that already. But anyways, I was number 7, and I already had 3 Pokemon in mind by this point that I really wanted to use. And I was like, okay, sweet, I'm going to build a team around this, I'm going to get my Speedsters, I'm going to get my Bulk, it's going to be great, it's going to be awesome. And yeah, and not going to lie, I got snagged quite a lot. Thankfully, I did not get sniped in my most important picks, which were the picks that I originally wanted. Thankfully, those did not get sniped. But I lost out on a bunch of Pokemon. This is probably the most I've been sniped since like the Eon World Trophy season, where like half the team I wanted got sniped. It wasn't as bad as that one, but still. And not to toot my own horn here, but I am really excited with how the team turned out. And granted, there's a lot of different things with this team that I typically don't do, or that I have tried before and hasn't worked out necessarily in the past. However, I am really excited to use this team. I think this time the synergy is here, I think the synergy will work, and I am very stoked about it. So yeah, without any further ado, I guess let's go ahead and start talking about the draft. So, first pick, right? People are picking their Pokemon, people are like, ooh, I want this, and I'm number 7 in the pick, which means I'm down at the tail end. However, I was holding out hope that I could get Dragapult. Ghost and Dragon type, really fast Pokemon, can be either mixed, physical, or special attacker, can even be bulk if you need it to, not as well, but you can still do it. And I was like, I'm grabbing this thing. The 6th pick comes around, and they pick Dragapult. And it was Ellie, by the way. Ellie picked Dragapult. And immediately I was like, ha, frick. So, as a result, I no longer had a Ghost type or a Dragon type on my team. I had to figure something out. But while I tried to figure it out, I decided to go ahead and grab what was going to be my 2nd pick, and I was going to go ahead and grab that first, just so that way I had a semi-speedy mon on the team at the very least, and also one that could play bulk, or like fill in whatever role I needed to. And that Pokemon is Torterra. Now, for those of you who don't know, I actually have used this thing before. I have used this thing in a Draft League battle, and I honestly didn't like using it as much. However, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try something. I'm just going to try again. I'm just going to try again using it because I really felt like it fit the team. It fit the vibe I was going for. It fit everything that I wanted to fit, if that makes sense. I'm explaining this poorly. basically what I'm saying is I thought a pure flying type like Tornadus that could be bulky if I needed to, and also really, really fast. It has a base 121 speed. You can't really see it, but it's base 121 speed. And it's fast, it can do different things. It gets access to Bleak Wind Storm now, which is a less powerful but more accurate version of Hurricane. And, you know, it can do some fun stuff if I needed to. But yeah, I saw this thing, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try to give this thing a shot again. It's a pure flying type, I could really use that. That could pair well with a 3 Pokemon in particular that I wanted. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to go with it. Now, originally what I wanted on my team was Dragapult and King Gambit. And while King Gambit hadn't been picked up yet, I realized that if I went with the 3 Pokemon I wanted, I would have 2 Steel types. Which, while not the worst thing in the world, obviously, and it's a freaking King Gambit we're talking about here, I really didn't want to repeat typings if I didn't have to, and I also needed a Dragon type. So, I decided to pick up a different Gen 9 Pokemon that is a Dark type, and also a Dragon type, and also from the past. And that Pokemon is Roaring Moon. So yeah, I've got Eclipse here, base 119 speed, base 139 attack, base 105 HP, and special defense base 101, not bad either. The main weaknesses are the defense and special attack of this thing, but I'm still really, really excited to use this thing. Dark and Dragon, which I thought was a really great typing. I thought it kind of fit the role that Dragapult lacked a little bit, obviously not the best, but I figured this thing could be a really great King Gambit stand-in because I didn't want the 2 Steel types, and I wouldn't have 2 Dragon types either because I didn't have Dragapult. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to grab Roaring Moon then. So basically this is the King Gambit switch-in that, since I didn't grab Dragapult, I wouldn't have 2 Dragon types, this is what I decided to pick up instead. And yeah, overall, I don't know how I'm going to enjoy using this thing. I'm not the best when it comes to like singular ability usages like photosynthesis or anything like that. I'm typically not the best with that, but I'm still really excited to use this thing. I think this thing is going to put in a lot of work. I think this thing is going to prove to be quite deadly on the battlefield, and I'm hoping that it will just prove me right in that, and that I will be happy with it. And I think I will be. I have high hopes. I have high hopes for this thing. Hopefully it does what it needs to. Hello, I am back. It is me. I am recording this. My roommate is watching something on the TV right now, so I'm going to try to stay quiet, and hopefully she won't hear me and get annoyed with me. I think we'll be fine, but just in case, we will just rock out with that. I'm recording this on Sunday, so this is probably going up tomorrow. It's fine. Anyways, yeah. Hello. Hi. Welcome back to me. As you can see, I've got my next Pokemon here ready to talk about it. This is one of the 3 Pokemon that I really, really wanted to build this team around, and it is none other than Infernape, my favorite Pokemon. I've used this thing several times in draft leagues already. It's my favorite Pokemon in general, ever since I was like a kid, although Chimchar was technically my favorite, and then as I grew older it was Infernape, but then you get my point. But yeah, Sun Wukong, the Infernape, very, very excited to have this thing on the team. I was worried about this thing getting sniped. It did not get sniped though, thankfully. Yeah, 76 defense, 104 attack and special attack, 71 defense and special defense, and 108 speed. Nice little rounding out, which I am a big fan of. I like that a lot. This thing can do a lot of things, especially with like the new Terra abilities. I did not make this a Terra captain, believe it or not. But like it can counter, it gets Drain Punch now, along with Iron Fist, which is phenomenal. Earthquake, we've got Gunk Shot, we've got Knockoff, we got Poison Jab, we got Raging Fury, we've got Rocks, which this thing can set Rocks now. Thunder Punch, of course, U-Turn, Zen Headbutt, really amazing coverage. This thing got a massive, massive buff, along with the other 2 Pokemon that I drafted this team around. It's just a really, really, really good Pokemon, and I'm super looking forward to using this thing. It can be a physical or special attacker. 108 speed is really freaking good. I like that a lot. It is my slowest Pokemon thus far, but I am very, very, very excited to be using this because it still is a really great speed tier, in my opinion. It's faster than like base 105s, considerably faster, and it's just really, really great, obviously. So I'm very much looking forward to using this. And yeah, so there you go. And next up actually is the second Pokemon out of the 3 that I wanted to build a team around. So I'm going to go ahead and include him there. So next up on the team we have got the Emperor, aka Empoleon. And now you can probably guess what the final Pokemon is that I wanted to build this team around. Like Infernape, this thing got a massive, massive buff in this generation with like Terra, with the new hidden ability Competitive, which I don't think it had before. I think it had a different ability as a hidden ability before. It gets Chilling Water, it gets Flip Turn, it gets Haze, it gets Ice Spinner, it gets Knockoff, Stealth Rock, Steel Beam, Terra Blast, all that fun stuff. I should move this out of the way. But yeah, no, I'm really, really excited to be using this thing. This thing is one of my bulkier Pokemon, obviously. Water Steel type is a phenomenal, phenomenal defensive typing to have. And I'm very, very, very excited to be using this thing. And yeah, hoping it puts in a lot of work. 84 HP, 86 attack, 88 defense, 111 special attack, 101 special defense, and 60 speed. Yeah, I'm really, really excited to use this thing. I think it's going to be absolutely phenomenal on this team, especially with its natural typing and bulk. Really, really excited to use this thing. And with Competitive as well, making Intimidate users really scared to go up against me, which is amazing. So yeah, there you go. Empoleon, perfect little boy. Very excited. Alrighty, next up we have got none other than one of the new Gen 9 Pokemon, Cleopatra, aka the Espathra. I saw this thing, knew I really, really wanted the Psychic type, saw the abilities, both Opportunist and Speed Boost, and I was like, yoink, you're mine. And Frisk is really good too, depending on certain situations. The stats aren't the best, with like HP 95, 16 attack, defense, and special defense, 101 special attack, and 105 flat in speed. However, again, Speed Boost makes it that so this thing will outspeed a majority of Pokemon after one turn, and it gets Baton Pass, although I don't think I can use Baton Pass in this gen, but I can combine that with Calm Mind, so that's an immediate Quiver Dance basically. I can Hex, I can Energy Ball, I can Flash Cannon, I can Hyper Voice, I can Lumina Crash, obviously, of course, which is really overpowered. Stored Power, Trick even, if I want to do that. I will say that this thing, it can Dazzling Gleam as well, which is obviously great. I will say I am banned from Terra typing this Pokemon in particular. I will not be able to Terra this thing, which is unfortunate, but I still think it's going to put in a crap ton of work, and I'm very excited about using it. And yeah, very, very excited that I got my hands on it, and looking forward to actually having it. So yeah, there you go. There's Cleopatra for you, special attacker, setup sweeper. This thing is going to be really, really hard to take out, I think. So yeah. And next up, of course, is my final pick of the original 3 that I wanted to draft. If you guess I was drafting the Sinnoh Starters, you would be correct. We have got Torterra, the Torterra, joining the last of the 3 that I really, really wanted to draft and build a team around. And lo and behold, this is our first Terra Captain. For those of you who aren't aware, you could have a total of up to 3 Terra Captains, and you could choose 2 types that they could Terra into. Each Pokemon costs slightly different. So like, for example, Torterra, I believe, cost 4 extra points, I believe it was, to add Terras to, which I of course wanted to do because combine Shell Armor, which prevents crits, and Shell Smash, which boosts my special attack and speed at +2 stages, and this thing is going to be an absolute beast. Granted, at +2, I will not be able to still outspeed everything in general, but I'm still extremely excited to be using this thing because I just think it's going to be really, really overpowered. Body Press, if you don't want to use Shell Smash, I got Curse, I got Double Edge, I got Earthquake, I got Great Giga Drain if I want to do special, I got Headlong Rush, Heavy Slam, Leech Seed, I can use the Leech Seed now, which is really freaking good. Again, I got Shell Smash, I got Rocks, Superpower, Synthesis even, Trailblaze, and like Zen Headbutt, and all these other really, really good moves that will come together really, really well. The 2 Terra types I chose for this thing were Terra Ground and Terra Water. Now, I did not have to choose a Stab. I did not have to choose that for a Terra. I ended up with all 3 of my Terras, because I have 3 Terra Captains. I ended up going at least 1 Stab typing with all of them, just because that's how it worked out. But with Torterra, I chose Ground and Water. Ground just because it's just really, really a phenomenal typing, and with like immunity to electric, providing that much needed like resistance, and also not being as weak to ice as it would be before, and also Water to resist ice and also give me a really, really defensive typing that Grass and Electric do not want to go up against this thing. Grass types have an easier time, obviously, but like Electric is going to have a really, really hard time going up against a Shell Smashing, Earthquaking, Torterra, that's a Torterra water. You're going to have a really hard time countering this thing, and I think it's going to put in so much work. And also Torterra, I'm sorry, it's a funny name. I had to, okay? Can you blame me? No, the answer is no. You cannot blame me, and I will not let you. So there you go. Anyways, there's Torterra. Very, very excited about this pick. And now, time for talk about the rest of the Snipes. So there were a lot of Snipes for me throughout this draft that I just really, really wanted to grab. Granted, I'm very happy that I got all the Sinnoh Starters, and if I wanted to trade any of like my Snipes in exchange for one of the starters, I would not accept it because I'm really glad that I have the gimmick of having all 3 Sinnoh Starters on my team. However, I did lose out on some phenomenal Pokemon such as Kleavor, Weezing, Galarian, Sylveon, although I think I picked a different Pokemon instead of Sylveon by the time it got back to me. I missed out on Toxtricity, I missed out on Jolteon, I missed out on Dusclops. There was a lot of Pokemon that would have really, really helped me out, especially with the speed tier with Jolteon, as well as the electric immunity, and also with Galarian Weezing, the pure bulk, and also Poison Fairy combo, being able to get rid of T-Spikes, because unfortunately I do not have a Poison type on this team, which does suck, and I will get into a couple of other weaknesses on this team in a bit, but I lost a lot of Pokemon that I really had to find coverage for, and I really wanted to find types for, and just make sure that I had something. So I ended up grabbing another Pokemon to kind of fill in Kleavor's role and to fill in Jolteon's role. And I really knew that if I wasn't able to get Jolteon, I would need a Pokemon with Sticky Webs. And so I grabbed a Pokemon that I've used before and absolutely loved, and with Terra is going to be an absolute beast. Million Volts, the Vikavolt. Now, it was after the draft, very soon near the end of the draft, where I found out that you could actually have 3 Terra Captains. So I ended up not using the 7 points that I had extra in order to save them for the last 3 of my Pokemon. And it took me a really long time to figure out what type of Pokemon I wanted to Terra, and I decided on Vikavolt and the pick after this, the Terra, just because both Pokemon really helped me out a lot defensively and offensively, especially for this thing, particularly offensively, with my team. So I made this thing Terra Electric and Terra Water. Terra Electric because stab 145 special attack, Terra Electric Thunderbolt coming towards your way. Nobody's going to want to take that. That is absolutely horrifying. Plus with Levitate, I am immune to all super effective damage unless somebody has Mold Breaker or something like that, which is phenomenal for me, and it also gets rid of my bug typing, which makes me a lot weaker to rocks and things like that, and weaker to other moves as well. And the other pick that I decided to use is Water. I chose Terra Water because it specifically did a lot more damage against more opponents. It is also resistant to ice, which is a thing that I kind of realized I have a bit of a weakness to. So I grabbed Water, which I felt like really helped out defensively and offensively for Vikavolt as well. And again, Grass and Electric do not want to go up against this thing because Grass in particular struggles a lot against the bug types, and Electric just because, again, Electric versus Electric is going to be really, really hard to beat, and plus you have to play mind games with Torterra and Vikavolt. And, either your Grass type is going to get fricked, or your Electric type is going to get fricked. It's going to be really hard to figure out which one it is, alongside with the third Terra Captain, which can also be a wild card. But yeah, like I said before, base 145 special attack, absolutely phenomenal. 77 HP, 70 attack, 90 defense, which is also not bad, 75 special defense, and 43 speed. This thing gets webs as well, which helps me control speed tiers a lot, and it can also force people to bring Defog. I got Bug Buzz, Discharge, Energy Ball, Terra Blast, of course. I got Lunge, I got Poison Jab. I've got Flash Cannon, Thunderbolt, of course, Volt Switch, so this gives me a Volt Switch Pokemon, Charge Beam, Electro Ball, whatever else that I might need, even Pounce as well if I want to get fancy with that. Overall, and Light Screen as well. I do not get Reflect, but I get Light Screen, so overall, Million Volts I think is going to be an absolute huge asset to the team, and I'm really, really excited to be using it. Once again, Vikavolt's a Pokemon I've loved using in the past, and I think it's going to really come in handy, once again, in the near future for these future fights. And now, time to talk about my last Terra Captain. So I knew I really needed a Fairy, I knew I really wanted a Rock type, and I knew I needed it badly. And all the Fairy types are starting to go. Galarian Weezing was gone. Sylveon I knew was going to go really, really soon if it wasn't drafted by this point already. Clefable was gone. All these other really, really good Fairy types were gone, except for this low tier one, and with the amazing bulk it has, and the realization that, hey, terraing this thing could be absolutely phenomenal, I went ahead and picked Diancie and made it my final Terra captain. The reason I chose Vikavolt and Diancie over like Infernape and Empoleon and my last pick is because I really felt like it just really suited the team a lot better. It made the Pokemon that Terra'd specifically a lot better. Infernape would just give it a lot more offensive bulk and in general. And like, yes, offense is really, really good, but I don't really need offense as badly on this game, I felt like. On this team, Empoleon, sure, Terra Ghost would be really, really nice to bait out like fighting type attacks and things like that, or like Terra Dark maybe or something like that. But I really felt like the Water Steel typing was enough for me to cover, and just I felt like it was enough for me to really, I didn't have to worry about like terroring the Empoleon as much. And with my last pick, you'll see what I mean when I talk about it, but I'll wait on that pick for now, and I will walk it through later. But yeah, anyways, talk about Diancie. Base 100 attack and special attack, which is already not bad. 50 HP and 50 speed, which is not the best but not the worst, but combine that with the 150 defense and special defense, this thing is a tank. And especially with these two Terras that I gave it, Fire and Fairy. Stab, Fairy, Terra, Diancie is going to be so hard to take out, and I'm super excited to see it in action. And I chose Terra Fire specifically because I wanted to have a good answer into Steel types. I wanted to have a resist into Steel types, so that way if I was taking a Steel type attack, Terra Fire, surprise fool, I am Terra Fire now, and you do not have an answer for this thing. And yeah, there you go. Overall, Terra Fire is the one that I'm the least motivated about. I have a feeling that that'll be appearing the least out of this draft. I don't know, like, I might be completely wrong. Maybe Terra Electric, Vikavolt never comes, but Terra Fire is the one that I'm the most shaky about because I already have a lot of answers into Steel types anyways. Like, all three of the Sinnoh Starters do well against Steel types. Even Empoleon, which, like, doesn't do the best, but it can resist a lot of Steel type attacks and things like that. It can deal a lot of damage back and things like that. But anyways, moving on, we have got things like Diamond Storm, we've got Draining Kiss, which restores HP, we've got Iron Defense, we've got Moonblast, we've got Power Gem, we've got Psychic and Psyshock, we've got Rocks, we've got Spikes, we have got Stored Power, we have got Terra Blast, of course, we've got Trick Room even if we want to play around with that a little bit, and like Flash Cannon, things like that. Again, I really felt like Terraing this Pokemon specifically would help me out a lot because getting rid of the rock typing makes this thing a whole lot more threatening, especially with Terra Fairy. It's just a phenomenal pick in my opinion, and a phenomenal Pokemon to Terra, and not gonna lie, you may see that come into effect week 1, so definitely be sure to check out week 1 once we get there. And yeah, now I think it's time to talk about the last pick. So the last pick, I really wanted some more immunities, and I wanted a bit more of like a flexible speed tier. I wanted a Pokemon that can threaten out certain things like base 110s. I wanted to, like, again, immunities, and I wanted a good way to piece it all together. So I could draft like 2 lower tier normal and ghost types or something like that. But I ended up deciding going with this pick specifically because of its ability, because of its speed, because of the potential it has to really wreak havoc on teams. And that Pokemon is Nightmare the Hisuian Zoroark. I am super excited to be using this on the team. I did technically use this in a draft league once. I don't even remember what happened to that draft league, but I only ever uploaded one video, and it was versus Gizmo, and this thing destroyed Gizmo, which was very fun. But I am very excited to be using this thing with Illusion, Normal, Ghost, giving me 3 immunities in Normal, Fighting, and Ghost, which means this thing is only like weak to Dark, I believe it is. This is the Pokemon that I was debating about terroring as well, but I decided against it because I felt like Normal Ghost benefited me more in a majority of battles as opposed to like not terroring Vikavolt or Diancie, for example. So I decided on Normal Ghost, and I decided Hisuian Zoroark would be enough to scare people off. I might change the Terra into Hisuian Zoroark if I really want to. If I do change it, it's probably going to be the Vikavolt, if I had to guess, because I don't think I'm going to want to change Diancie. But yeah, I think it's going to be Vikavolt if any of them change, and it might be like Hisuian Zoroark that takes it instead. And I would make it like Terra Dark and Terra Ghost or something like that. But yeah, 60 in both defenses and HP is 55 is not the best, but attack 100, special attack 125, and speed 110 is nothing to laugh about. And again, especially with 3 immunities and the ability illusion, you're going to have a really hard time trying to find this Pokemon and counter it. So if I can get predictions right and play around with this thing could really put in a lot of work, especially with moves like Bitter Malice, which guarantees an attack drop, which is phenomenal. Calm Mind, Dark Pulse, Extra Sensory, Flamethrower, Grass Knot, Hex, Hyper Voice. I can knock off, I can Memento even if I really want to do that. I can Psychic, I can Shadow Ball, Shadow Sneak, Sludge Bomb, Trick, and U-Turn. I've got a lot. Will-O-Wisp even. And Curse. I can Curse as well. This thing just really puts in a lot of work, and I think it's a really phenomenal way to round out the team. And yeah, I think this is a great addition to the team, and I think this is a fantastic Pokemon to really end things off with for my draft. So yeah, here is the team that I am using for this draft league, at least as of right now. I don't know if changes will happen, I don't know if I'll make any trades, I don't know if I'll make any Terra Captain trades, but I will say I am feeling extremely confident in this team. I think this team is going to put in a lot of work against everybody else, especially with my Terras. I don't think like many other people have as good Terras as I have. No offense, but I'm super excited about these Terras, and I think they're going to put in a lot of work. Now, like I said, there are some weaknesses, particularly Freeze Dry is a big concern of mine, because with Freeze Dry, for those of you who don't know, is an ice move that does super effective damage against water types. A majority of my Pokemon that resist ice type attacks are water types, water Terras, or Infernape, and Infernape does not want to take an attack in general. Empoleon is my steel type, which resists ice, and is bulky, but that's my water type too, so it's going to be neutral. And it's going to be a lot to kind of try to counter that, which is another reason why Terra Fire is there too on Diancie, because I felt like that would prove to be like really useful. Another weakness of mine I found out while prepping for week 1, I do not have hazard removal on this team, which really freaking sucks. I don't know why. Empoleon doesn't get defog, Empoleon doesn't get Rapid Spin, Espathra doesn't get defog, Tornadus doesn't get defog, Roaring Moon doesn't get defog, and Vikavolt doesn't get defog. So many Pokemon you would think get defog don't get defog, and it's so frustrating. I wish I knew things before I picked them, but it's fine. I will say I have a humongous potential for hazard stacking, so if I can force people to bring Rapid Spin or Defog, that would be, particularly Defog, would be phenomenal. Like, if I'm going up against a team, they're probably going to have to at least bring some kind of hazard removal, because like Diancie, Vikavolt, Torterra, like my Terra Captains, you know, and even like other Pokemon too, like Empoleon could really cause a lot of work with hazard stacking if they're not careful. And that's definitely going to really come into play, I think, in many of these fights. My fastest Pokemon being base 121 is also not ideal. I usually like having a Pokemon that's like around base 130 because it guarantees like it outspeeds the majority of Pokemon. However, I didn't get that this time, so I'm most likely going to be against a lot of these teams. I'm probably going to be going up a lot of them having at least one Pokemon that just guarantees outspeeds me, which really freaking sucks. But it is what it is. I think I'm still going to put in a lot of work. I think I'm still going to really destroy a lot of teams regardless of the speed tier. And again, webs help out with that a lot, which is another reason why people are going to be forced to bring a hazard removing Pokemon specifically just for webs. And I think it's going to just really do a lot of work. So yeah. Plus, speed boosting Espathra 2 is another threat as well, which is another reason why I grabbed it, so there you go. But yeah, that is the team that I have got for this draft league. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys like, what you guys dislike, all that fun stuff. And yeah, I'm really excited to be using this team. I think this team is one of my better crafted teams, especially with my Terra Captains. I love my Terra Captain choices. I personally think they're going to put in a crap ton of work, and I think for a majority of teams, the hardest Pokemon to beat will not be the Tornadus Theory, will not be the Roaring Moon, will not be the Empoleon, but it will be the Torterra, Vikavolt, and Diancie, especially in prep. Prepping is going to be super hard for my team, I think, personally. Again, Freeze Dry can do a lot of work, Hazard Stacking can do a lot of work, but even then, I still think this team can really maximize its potential, especially since, again, like, none of my Pokemon are weak to rocks. So besides Vikavolt, and if Vikavolt Terras, that's not a Pokemon weak to rocks anymore. So even though like you can hazard stack against my team, it's not going to be ideal even in that, like, those cases. So I think it's just going to be amazing. Tornadus Theory too is also weak to rocks, but again, majority of the time you run heavy duty boots on Torterras anyways. So yeah, again, we'll see what happens with it, but I'm very, very excited to be using this team, and I think it's going to put in a lot of work. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. Sorry if I'm a little bit toned down a little bit. I will try to increase it in post. Excuse me. But yeah, very, very excited, very, very honored to be a part of this draft league, and I really, really hope that you guys are impressed with my battling. Be sure to check out, I will be uploading battles on Saturdays. That will be the goal, so be sure to check out this Saturday. The 14th of October will be the first battle on this channel, so definitely be sure to subscribe if you haven't already to check out that battle. This is not an upload required league, but I'm just uploading these battles for fun, and let's just say it's a battle you do not want to miss, because holy crap, it's wild. So definitely be sure to check it out. And yeah, I'm going to be going back to uploading team previews a little bit beforehand, but they're going to be really short, like 5 minutes long max is the ideal situation. So, and I'll put like timestamps in the videos to skip ahead to them anyways. I've seen a lot of people do that. That's what I'm going to start doing too. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. I hope this is something you guys are excited for as I am. And yeah, hope you guys are looking forward to it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and be sure to check out the main channel, Gokey Gamer. Be sure to check out my YouTube Shorts channels. Be sure to check out my TikTok, I should say YouTube Shorts and TikTok channel, Gokey Challenges, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later in the next video. Peace out, mates!